What is going on, y'all? Gonzo's Convos Season 3, Episode now, motherfucker 28. We are 2 episodes away from 30. And to be honest with y'all, the way the schedule is going, the way next week's looking, we're going to hit above 30. You know, that's we're well over half of the episodes we had last season, which is crazy. That's a good accomplishment, in my opinion. I fuck with it. I really do. Um, Hell yeah. So today we are bringing on a guest named Chris. She's on Instagram. I actually, for once, I didn't promote through TikTok as much, mostly through Instagram, and it's kind of been working a lot better so far. Um, and yeah, like this is we're gonna. This, all I can say is it's gonna be an interesting episode, y'all. You know, stay tuned in right now. Stay in and shit, let's get this shit started. I'm gonna go ahead and send her the invite. And for those of you in the channel, I'm sending a link in. Y'all can tap in. All right, so the links are out. I think we did good with it last time. I know some of y'all joined in, and I didn't confuse anybody for the guests, so that's a good thing, for sure, for sure. I'm excited for this one, man. I'm excited for this one. Mm. Yeah, I actually did a lot of promoting through Instagram for later on for this week and for some of next week's. Instagram actually was above TikTok as far as the promoting goes. TikTok was a little bit on the stupid fucking side. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people saying like, "Yeah, I'm down to get on. I'm down to do it," and then I don't hear from that type of dude. But that's kind of how it is with podcasting. Like no one is a for sure thing until they start tapping back in with you in the DMs and all that shit, or wherever you guys are texting from, and getting a for sure date going. And even then, it's still not guaranteed because that takes away from all the cancellations, um, the possible if they want reschedules. But I don't do that because I book up majority, if not all, the fucking days of the week except for the weekends, and that's just unfair to the guests that are actually coming on. So I don't reschedule, and if I do, it'll be for the week after. So yeah, it's unfortunate for those that aren't able to make it on and get their words out, get their piece in. It is what it is. But today we're bringing on Chris, and she seemed like a very joyful person. So we're gonna go ahead and see what her vibe is like. Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Chris in the cut. I fuck with it. I fuck with it. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is Chris, or Chris in the Cut, as I go by on TikTok, and I am just a regular, regular, schmegular person living life, just trying to spread some love.
Okay.
One
So
video at a time. One video at a time.
I fuck with it. Yeah. So what I noticed is because obviously I contacted you through Instagram, so I didn't even know you had a
Yeah,
TikTok,
thank
but I contacted you through Instagram, and I
the
saw
same stuff.
yeah, and I saw the positive videos you were putting out. So honestly, that's what caught my attention, and I was like, this would be cool to have on my podcast. More
Well, thank
positivity,
you.
the better. Hell yeah, hell yeah. So what
I
got
appreciate
you
that.
into making videos like that, like all the positive videos?
Life, really? I don't have a large social circle, in real life. I've got quality friends. I keep my quantity small, but my quality top notch. And I don't have kids. I don't have little nieces and nephews, and I've just learned a lot of valuable lessons the hard way over the course of my life, but definitely in my sobriety. I'll be 6 years sober from drinking this year.
Hell yeah.
And thank you. I got to a point in my life where I decided to take a risk and do something I was terrified of and just talk to people. And I thought that the videos were the best way of doing it for multiple reasons. Because A, like, you never know who you'll reach via social media, right?
Mhm.
B, because I've adopted this practice of just doing one take and putting it out there and see what resonates, because I'm a perfectionist, and that can be incredibly paralyzing and asphyxiating for a creative person. So I made this rule, like, you do one take, and even if you don't like it, it's not perfect, you're going to send it out there anyway. And
Yeah.
I also have a lot of social anxiety. I don't like to be like seen, really. I like to like be in the cut, hence Chris in the cut. I like to be in the cut and kind of just like lay back. So all of this was just like, we're all getting older, right? Like, I'm not getting any younger. I don't want to be afraid or limit myself anymore. So
Yeah.
let me do this, and at the same time, it can be a time capsule, right, of all the things that we experience as human beings, and it can also maybe be my legacy. When I go, at least this stuff will still be around, and maybe it can help somebody in the future. Who knows? Who knows?
I like that. I like that. I like that. Cause there's not a lot of people that post positive videos and positive posts like that in general. It's all about pictures of them or like them trying to grow themselves as a person versus trying to spread positivity to the world. So I really fuck with that. I like that a lot.
Well, I get it. I get it, because I mean, we're fed a lot. We're fed a lot in this life, and I think our priorities are can be askew, right? We care about some things that maybe we shouldn't more than others. So there's a lot of that, and I think there's also a lot of we have to figure it out ourselves before we can really reach out and like help, right? Like, how are you going to teach somebody how to fish if you don't know how to fish? Like, what do you? Or
Yeah.
if you're fishing, they're pulling up boots. Like, that's not going
Yeah.
to be an effective method of teaching someone how to fish. So I can appreciate people being vulnerable enough to expose themselves along their journey, and the content of what and the quality and the authenticity that you see or don't in posts really speaks to, I just think, everybody's individual journey, right? And we all get to certain points in our lives at different points in our lives. And I mean, honestly, like, the sooner the better, but it's always right on time when it's supposed to be. So I've learned that you have to accept that. But yeah, I don't know
Hell
if
yeah.
does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Are your TikTok videos kind of the same way, or is that more like
At this point,
funny
yeah,
content?
no, it's all the same at this point. The graphic layout might look a little bit different just because you got different kind of features on TikTok, but it's all the same content. Actually, no. Let me clarify. The still photos that I post on my Instagram, I actually do voiceover on my TikTok. And I'll add like little music clips behind it, so it's got a little bit more of a feel, and you could like save it and listen to it on the go if you wanted to. So that's
Yeah.
that's a slight difference, but other than that, it's the same, just sharing of life experiences.
Hell yeah.
I'm
I
thinking
like
at some point of expanding out into different types of content. I just haven't stumbled upon what that is yet for me, because it's all this is a side thing for me. Like I said, I'm a regular Joe Schmo. I got a 9 to 5 job. This is just something I started to do
Yeah.
for
Well,
me.
I like it. I'm sure a lot of people do as well. There's a lot of
Mm,
people that tapped into your posts and everything like that. So it's definitely reaching people. You can
thank
definitely
you.
say it's reaching people. It reached me. So,
Well,
here
and
we are
I mean,
today.
I appreciate you for recognizing this kind of content and then deciding to share it and spread it and get to know the people that are creating it. Because to your point, not a lot of people do that either, right? There's a lot of hurt, and so there's a lot of hurt people. So there's a lot more hurt being spread versus, like, this kind of stuff. So thank you for doing this. It's awesome, and for reaching out. Like, what the heck? I wasn't expecting it.
I got you, but I appreciate you coming on. Like there's thank yous going all around. So it's a positive
Right.
vibe here, and I love
Thanksgiving came early.
it. Hell yeah. So with that being said, right, we're gonna jump into our first topic,
Sure.
relationships.
Ooh. Okay.
So with relationships in our generation, I'm sure you're well aware of how they kind of are around. You know what I mean? What is your overall thought on it, and what do you see it being come in the next future, like 2024 type of future?
You're talking about like romantic relationships, long-term partnerships, those
Like
kinds of relationships.
all of it, like, yeah, like all of it, relationships in general, just the way people get into
Well,
it.
well, you know what I'm experiencing? I'll be 37 this year, so just to say that, because I might look young, but I got some life experience under
Yeah,
me.
we look the same
Also,
age.
right, right. Wait, how old are you? How old are you?
I am 21.
Oh, see, hi, thank you. I take that. I'll take that. Don't let the gray hair fool you. But you know what I realized, or what I've seen happen progressively, especially since COVID, and the pandemic, and us being all trapped inside, and really realizing like, oh fuck, like we live in the matrix.
Yeah,
But what I've noticed is that people really are going in and really exploring themselves, and they're being more vulnerable and brave and advocating for themselves more and standing in their own truths more and setting boundaries. And there seems to be this general awakening of not just a self-awareness, but also this consideration for like the space that we share, the emotional atmosphere that we share. There's also can I curse? I can curse, right?
absolutely. So this is
I mean, okay.
under the explicit category on
Just had
YouTube.
to
And
make sure. Just had to make sure. There's also a
yeah,
lot of fuck. There's also a lot of fuck shit that happens, right? But let me say this. I think everything in life it's two sides of the same coin, right? So as evolved as we become, as devolved as we can become. So, but generally, I feel this just awakening. So I have a hope that relationships will be more um, honest and transparent and genuine and not transactional, but more and superficial and surface, but more just like spirit to spirit. Because I don't know about you, but I hear it a lot more in the world. You know, this expression of an appreciation for just the human being and our humanity and our experience.
yeah, I could see that. I would say for us younger generation, I
Like we're
in
not there
all
yet.
in all honesty,
What's it
as
like for
far
you?
as
How about, can you tell me about that? What's your experience been?
with relationships.
Yeah.
So as someone that was in high school and middle school, it was kind of weird, people the way people went about it, and especially
Yeah.
high school. High school, it wasn't really like, it didn't feel like relationships. It felt more like friends with benefits type of deal. You know what I mean?
Uh,
And I feel like that was more of like the given of this generation. And I feel like that's why that kind of happens a lot. Um, as of right now, like I have a fiance as well, so
oh,
I'm
congratulations.
ready. Yeah, like something worked out, right? For the
It
longest time, I
always
didn't think
does.
it. For the longest time, I didn't think it was because of the way people kind of move about relationships and kind of go about it. And I didn't feel confident I was gonna find the one. I just thought I was just kind of gonna coast through, and if it
Well,
happens,
what
it happens.
changed?
What changed? I would say what changed was I stopped focusing on it. I stopped focusing on trying to find the right
That's
person.
exactly what happened to me.
Yeah, and started kind of just focusing on doing my thing, doing whatever I do, and then eventually it happened. So
Hmm.
that's why I tell people, like, don't focus so much on finding the right person. Just focus
Right.
on you, do it, whatever you got to do, and then eventually everything else will fall into place, and that's relationships included.
Right.
Um, but as far as a lot of people go about it, they're really searching for that one, and then a lot of times they think they find the one, but it turns out it's the wrong one, and
Right.
person A is cheating, and then person B wants to cheat back to get back at them, and it's a whole
Right.
mess.
It's a whole Jerry Springer episode. To your point, um, you can't find the right one if you can't be the right one, right?
Exactly.
I was single for 15 years before I ended up in this relationship that I'm now engaged, and I've been in for 3 years now. But I think because I'm with a lot of trauma in my childhood, product of divorce, um, whatever else. But I realized early in like my 20s, I think, that in order to attract the partner that I wanted, I had to figure out how to be that in my life. And I knew I was not ready. And so I was like, I'm not gonna, I had entanglements and stuff, but nothing serious, nothing committed, because I knew I couldn't ask somebody to support me or be in my life the way that
Yeah.
I wasn't showing up, right? And to your point, also, like, you were a kid and relationships were, I guess, superficial, but how much depth do you have at that age anyway, right? Like,
It
and
all depends. It all depends on how many you meet, and I
that's
met a
true.
lot.
Where did you grow up? Not like what region did you grow up in?
Region. I went around. So I was born and raised in Colorado, and then
Oh, okay.
after my freshman year of high school, I moved to the East Coast and lived
Mm.
in Maryland for a while, and graduated from Maryland, and now I'm in Texas. So it took me coming, or no, I was in Korea also for a year.
Oh wow.
So it took all that traveling to end up here in Texas, and then finally meeting that significant other.
And that's one of the reasons why it seems you've seemed to cultivate a very evolved and mature perspective on life, and it's probably because you've traveled a lot, seen a lot, met a lot of people, been through a lot, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
also like the family I grew up around, I was kind of forced to grow up early, type of deal. Like
Yeah,
I had a
same.
childhood, but I was also forced to grow up at an early age, type of
Yeah,
deal.
same.
But
Same.
don't get that fooled. I still have a childish side to me, for sure.
We all do. We all do. It never goes anywhere. It just there's scars on top of it, right? Because we experience life, and we have to
Yeah.
learn how to protect ourselves, keep ourselves safe, and not, go crazy.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah, exactly.
But I
But
think there's hope. I think there's hope for relationships. I think people just have to go through life and be open to the lessons, kind of like how you've done at an early age.
yeah, I have hope for everyone else in my generation.
Yeah.
I really do hope that they stop the bullshit and actually, get
Right.
get their stuff together, get their shit together.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, y'all are holding everyone to the carpet, so it's nice. Y'all are
well,
like out ending that fuck shit.
not only that, but people got to realize like there's only so long you're gonna be young until eventually you hit that age, and you're still single, and it's like you haven't gotten your shit together yet. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. 100%.
yeah, it just takes a lot of my generation to grow up and kind of just get their shit together. That's the main thing.
Boy, if you figure it out all the way now, tell me about it when you do. Because at 37, I still look in the mirror and I'm like, wait, I'm not 16, 17. I still see the sixth grade version of me, or the 11th grade version of me, or the junior in college, or all the phases, right? The number is hard for me to wrap my head around sometimes. I'm like, how did I get here? I wasn't supposed
So
to make it
so
this far.
would you say time really flew for you?
100%. It does.
Yeah.
You do. You look back at some point and you're just like, wow. And I mean, we're already what, in August of 2023, I think. Yeah. But and it could be for a multitude of reasons. Maybe the older you get, the more distracted by life you are, so you're not as present. And I don't know, maybe it just the monotony makes it seem to go faster. I'm not sure. Or if you are open and go with the flow and stay present, does that make time go faster because you're always in the now? Um, but for sure, you look back, and it's all relative. Like I remember being a kid and looking at 40-year-olds, or not a kid, I should say, well, not being 10 and looking at a 40-year-old and being like, oh my god, it's an old person, and I'm almost there, and I think like that's like your prime, like you're just figuring out who you are, and it's funny because along all the phases of my life, I've kind of felt like I knew who I was, but I guess the more maybe life experience you cultivate, you just gather this deeper understanding, and therefore can like express yourself in this more authentic way, right? And it just grows
Exactly.
as you get older. But yeah, time is, I would say, appreciate the now. Don't shit on the now. Don't shit on you now. I remember feeling like a gross, ugly, lumpy, whatever piece of shit. I had a hard time loving myself because we all have childhoods, right? I wasn't taught how to love myself. And I look at photos of me back in those days, and I'm like, look at this little love bug cute thing. Like, it's so sad that I couldn't appreciate who I was, what I was, the whatever in the
Yeah.
moment. So I've had that experience time and time again as I get older, and I look back at different phases, and I remember like, I hated that then. I wish I would have loved it, because I appreciate it now. So I think if I could tell a younger person or a younger version of myself any number of things, one in particular would be to appreciate everything that is in the now,
Yeah.
because it only gets better. And what if you lose it now? Like, might not be
Exactly.
perfect, but if you didn't have it, you'd miss it. So just appreciate what you have, and know that like life is fluid, it changes, and you can get what you dream of. You just have to believe in it through and through, and then put in the work.
Exactly. Exactly. See, that's not only a message to me, but a message to everybody in this generation. Appreciate the now, but also Stay on top of your shit.
Well, do the work. That's the hard part. You know what? You know what I tell a lot of people. I tell a lot of people. I mean, life there's a lot of suffering, right? A lot of people are hurting for a lot of different reasons. For reasons out of our control in terms of global climate change and shit like that. But just generally speaking, this emotional experience is hard.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be if we realize we're it's just our feelings that we're dealing with, right? Like reality in and of itself, what's actually happening will not consume you, overwhelm you, kill you for the most part, right? Of course, there are realities where you can die. Yes, I'm not talking about that though. I'm talking about those emotionally driven moments where you're like, oh my god, I'm so scared, I'm gonna die. And you're like, no, you're just nervous about leading this meeting at work, whatever it is. But this emotional experience, this emotional being that we are, we can cultivate that's actually the word of the night, I think, cultivate. It's the relationship with you and the relationship with the feelings that you're experiencing as a result of being you in this world. Cultivating that, understanding that, and then choosing differently if you're not liking what you're experiencing, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to be miserable every time X happens. You can actually choose to lean into a different feeling if you change your perspective of X. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sorry, I tend to ramble. You just got to cut me off
No, it's
if
all
I'm
good.
going on too long.
No, you're good. It's all good shit, and I understand exactly what you're saying.
Cool.
But with that being said, I feel like when it comes to that, that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a challenge for a lot of people, but it's not impossible. It's definitely doable for
It's
anybody.
definitely doable. I think none of us are getting. I shouldn't say none of us, because some of us are blessed, but most of us are not privileged with these tools from an early age to
Yeah.
recognize like you're just a little squishy creature having really big feelings, and that's like really altering this experience you're having in this physical world. So sit with yourself, ask what you're feeling and why, and then see like how you can move forward and create a more pleasant or peaceful or just healthy experience for yourself, because you matter and your emotional experience matters. We're not taught that at an early age. At an early age, we're taught like listen to your parents, listen to your teacher. Like if somebody
Yeah.
slaps you on the back of the head, it's fine. Like there's go give auntie a hug, even though auntie gives you the creeps. Maybe auntie's touching your butthole in the back. Like like we're taught to act for
Yeah.
real though. Like because I did it, and I say this because I did a video once about suggesting that people trust their gut and trust their inner voice. And some people had some adverse comments about it, and I respect their opinion and their perspective is very valid. And one of them was from a father saying like, well, I want my children to trust me. Like they shouldn't listen to their own voice over mine. And at the same time, that's what I'm speaking to, because I myself experienced abuse at the hands of some of my own family members. And so if I trusted that inner voice that said this was wrong, it's okay for you to speak out, it's okay, I would have trumped 27 years of not dealing with shit. You know what I mean? But instead, I was
Yeah.
told you don't talk to the people outside the family. Like you ignore whatever feeling is being generated in your body. That like just ignore, suppress, repress. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I say that as an example. But it's true that our inner voice, man. If we can lean into the truth of that and trust it, obviously, once you've been able to figure out how to show up as a healthy being in the world. If we can be taught all these things, at an early age, I think we'd progress much differently as we grow up. But we're
Yeah.
not. We're taught that Thanksgiving is like when the pilgrims came, and we're taught that like X plus Y equals Z, like whatever shit, whatever shit we're all the gobbledygook that we're fed
Yeah.
that doesn't
Like
do
like
anything to help us later, really.
yeah. Like we're taught shit that really doesn't matter to us too much versus
No.
if it seems like the stuff that we do learn growing up is kind of like shit we have to learn on our own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit that we
Yeah.
don't really need school for. You know what I mean?
Right. 100%. So many things I wish I would have like had the courage to explore more as a kid, but I was like told no, that's not important. Focus on like whatever bullshit school framework I had to focus on, right? Um, I mean, but I see people doing that now, which is a beautiful thing. I see people challenging what they're being fed and choosing to explore and determine their own truths. And I see it happening at an earlier age. Like the experience you had at your age in high school albeit might have been not the best, but I'm sure in some way, shape, or form, it was still slightly more liberated than an experience I had a decade earlier, right? Or somebody
Yeah.
had 2 decades before me. It is nice to see this gradual, earlier adoption of emotional awareness, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely true, and it's crazy to see like the different changes and stuff. Because like I would say the next decade or so, the way people go to school is probably gonna be different. You know, especially with all the
Right?
technology and stuff coming out. You know, we might see some AI teachers instead of legit teachers, and that's. I was talking about that in the previous episode, but it's still crazy to think about that.
That's terrifying. It scares me because like we're social creatures. And I experienced as a result of the pandemic like a depreciation of my own social skills. And when I got kind of invited around my group of my social group, like all of us were a little bit like awkward and like, wait, how do we do that? Like, we felt like kids all over again trying to figure out how to play on the playground. Like, what do we do? We hug? Do we just shake hands? Like, how do we and so as we like, technology is a beautiful thing, it really can, it opens up the world, the universe, but at the same time I'm scared about how we choose to adopt it into our lives and apply it, because we need to connect to each other. We need to get out of the house. We need to like look at some trees, absorb some vitamin D from the sun, like get
Yeah,
outside. I love video games and like all the Twitches and the streams and the Xbox, like and Instagrams. Obviously, I'm on TikTok. I'm on the things, but like let's also connect in the real world and like feel that. You know,
yeah,
that's the part I'm scared about. I just hope get that doesn't get eaten away over time.
yeah. I agree. Like technology is a really cool thing, but I feel like us as human beings in this day and age are really into technology and not so much going outside as much. I mean, I,
Right?
I still go outside as much as I can. You know, I like to get a good tan going. You know what I mean? I'm a
Get the
lighter
little glow.
I'm a lighter skinned Mexican, so you know I really gotta get
Orale.
yeah I really gotta get my skin color going in. You know, others
I know about that.
yeah
I'm mixed. I'm half black and half Czech, so I got to keep my glow. Nobody ever knows what I am. Most people think I'm Hispanic too, because most of my name is Christina. So,
I could honestly I could see Hispanic for sure.
yeah, I get that all the time. It kind of depends upon where I'm at too. If I'm on the East Coast, I'll get like, "Oh, are you Puerto Rican?" In California, like, "Oh, are you Mexican?" It's
Yeah,
cool because it's really a reflection of like where people are from and like how they see.
yeah,
It's very telling. But
which is funny because when I moved to the East Coast, I thought I was either Salvadorian or Puerto Rican.
see, yeah,
Most
yeah,
of it, most of it was Puerto Rican because of the lighter skin. So I guess you know.
exactly. Puerto Rico, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Puerto Rico and I did see a lot of people that looked like me. So I mean, I
You're
was
like,
like,
what
I,
up,
I get what they're saying.
cousin?
Yeah, I was like, I get what they're saying, I guess.
Yeah,
And I
fair,
picked I
fair.
picked up the lingo, so that didn't really help. So, yeah, that's crazy.
Well,
But
for the
that's
future, because as we proceed through the years, I'm sure people are going to start being a lot more multicultural, multinational, so looking a lot more ethnically ambiguous. So,
yeah.
this is National Geographic 2050.
Yeah, and I'm not even full blooded Mexican either. I just grew up around that family, so I represent that side more. But my mom is half Japanese and half white. But I just
Oh,
didn't
wow,
really,
that's awesome.
but I didn't really grow up around that side of the family. I grew up in a Chicano culture, in
Got
Colorado.
you.
So that was what I adapted. That's
Have
who
you have you explored the Japanese part of you at all?
I tried to. It's very hard
I
because
bet.
that family's in Japan. So it's hard to like reach out type of deal because
Totally.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
even know who
yeah.
the fuck I'm reaching out to type of deal.
Right.
So you know
Hello? Who's this? Are you a cousin? No? Just kidding. Bye.
yeah, or like even traveling there and like knowing where exactly they are type of deal. Like it's
Yeah.
but it would have been cool. It would have been cool to see
Yeah,
that
maybe one
side.
day 23 and me. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I actually have that. It's kind of fun. It's kind of trippy.
I do too,
20,
actually. I found there were some cousins that popped up. I was like, oh, okay. Hey, cousin.
there's a lot of people on there. It's kind of trippy though, because like it's like oh shit, like we're related.
Right? And it's a shit ton of people. It's like very distant, right? But at the same time, that you realize, like, wow, you're actually biologically connected to a good chunk of people in this
But
world.
it was funny for me because most of them are Mexicans, so I was like, oh shit, okay.
Most of mine were white. I was really disappointed. I wanted to meet more of the brown side. They're
The African.
scattered to the wind.
You want to be more of the African side?
The black side, yeah. That's the side.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was black. He passed away, what, 9 years now, 10, something like that. But he was black. He raised me, but our family's super small and like, kind of fractured. So didn't really
Yeah.
know a lot of that side growing up. So that's what I was looking for. Didn't get it, but maybe one day.
It might pop up, like
You never know.
you get the little alerts of like when you get new members
Yeah,
that join and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
but it's cool though, cause I did meet some family members that I'd never met, and we're cool to this day, type of deal. So
Oh,
it's
that's
cool.
dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. Actually, my brother's fiance met a sister. And, like she didn't know she had maybe or something, some crazy stuff like that. They met, they got along, they get along fabulously. Like it's a beautiful avenue.
It is. I think that 23andMe and DNA shit was a good idea, but there's a lot of conspiracy theories about it where people think
Yeah,
like, oh, now the government has my DNA.
I kind of
Which
accepted that. I took that pill when I made that choice. I'm like, at this point, they know everything about me. They have access to
yeah,
my trash. I'm sure they could have my little dinky DNA if they wanted it. Like, take it all. I have nothing to hide, nothing to lose at this point.
yeah,
I'm so unattached to this material world that I'm not threatened by like I'm not threatened by the man because what is it? You know what I mean?
yeah. I feel you. I'm not saying they're right or wrong because it could be very well fucking
No,
true.
right, right.
It
Same.
is what
That's what
it
I'm like. I believe it's all true, or none of it's true at this point. After the alien thing came out, right? It's just like, well, you just cool. That's awesome. Everything that I hear now, I'm just like, that is so cool.
is. Do you actually believe there are aliens out there?
I don't know what I believe anymore. I've always believed that the laws of physics that energy can't be created or destroyed, and so in some essence, like maybe we all just some other iteration of creation just created to experience itself in another form. So why not? Right? Like, why not? I remember watching the movie Contact back in the 90s, I think, with Jodie Foster, and uh, she asks her dad if he believes in aliens, and he's like, well, if they didn't exist, it'd be an awful waste of space. And that hit me as a kid. And I was like, that's so true. Like,
It
who
is
am I to
too.
think like we're this one little marble in this giant chessboard thing that is the universe? How
Yeah,
could how can we be the only little minions of life bopping around? Doesn't make
yeah. I
sense.
definitely, I definitely don't think that us and animals and plants are the only fucking organisms here in
Right?
this whole fucking universe. I definitely think there's other living organisms and other
Right?
planets, other galaxies, and all that. But when people talk about like, oh, there's probably gonna be an alien invasion, I'm like, well, by that logic, we would have already been fucking taken out.
Okay, they've been coming forever. They invade. What the hell? They invading us? Actually, I saw a video. There's a lot of videos about this shit out there, right? And I
Yeah,
get, I'll watch a couple of them. I get a little sucked down the rabbit hole. But I heard a good philosophy in one of the videos, and that's that like if you think about everything, interconnectedness of everything, right? Like take our own ecosystem and weather system and atmosphere and oceans, like everything's interconnected, right? So of course, Earth is intrinsic to the vitality of the solar system and everything else. So the philosophy was like they're concerned about the well-being of Earth because if this shit explodes, they're fucked too. So they're just coming over, being like, "Hey, what's up? Like, can we help?" Like,
yeah,
I think the same people. I shouldn't say that. I think there's a similar mentality of like, oh, alien invasion, as there is in this perspective in religion of there being like this damning God and that world is going to end in fire and doom and tombstone and like this really aggressive and violent kind of perspective on life versus there
yeah.
being a more like constructive symbiotic perspective on life. Like maybe it's just maybe they're just here to help because Lord knows we can't help ourselves.
Which would make sense. Like if you look at all the structures, like ancient structures, pyramids, and all that shit. Like,
They didn't squash us with the pyramids or whomever, right? Like if we
yeah,
got that technology from aliens, they could have squashed us. They could have fucked us up a long time ago, right? Like we could have never had the chance to evolve. They've left us. Like we've gotten this far. Why the fuck would they come in now and be like,
yeah,
and you're out? Like no, like just be a good person and show up and just heal and love and try to make your life the best as possible and like try to make everyone else's life the best possible and like keep it pushing.
exactly. Couldn't have said that better myself. Exactly.
You
But
know,
it's crazy. I say, like, some people may think I'm crazy for saying this, but maybe we're just an experiment. You know what I mean?
you're
You
crazy.
know? No, for real.
I'm
Like
just kidding. I'm
with
kidding.
with with eight, like with that, right? Aliens help build all that shit, or extraterrestrial, whatever you want to call it. Maybe we're just an experiment. Like they helped us, and they're trying to see how we're adapting to life. They're just
Right?
they're just checking it out, seeing what
I
happens.
mean,
Kind of like how, like, if we were to take animals and put them in certain places, how would they act? What would they do? It's the same shit that they're doing this type of deal. You know what I mean? But when, if I say that, there's some people are gonna be like, nah, that's why there's no aliens. I'm like, all right.
I think it's all about having an open mind, right? Like, and also, I have this perspective on life of not really believing in the right or wrong. I think there are things that are just like inherently intrinsically like good and things that are like not good, right? But like, generally speaking, like people's opinions and perspectives and beliefs on life, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. I'm going to be like, that's fucking awesome. And if I can relate on some degree, I'll be like, yeah, because actually, this is my perspective. And like, yeah, I could totally see, you know what I mean? But everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to hold on to their own beliefs because they identify so strongly with them. Like if you challenge their beliefs, you're challenging who they are and calling them a bad person, telling them that they're wrong. But it's like, no,
Yeah,
actually, you can believe what you want, but like you're not wrong. You're not a bad person. That's a crazy ass motherfucking belief, but like you're cool. We can still kick it and get some tea or something.
yeah. That's kind of like what happened when I was in like a TikTok live or whatever, because it caught my attention that this individual was talking about how she hates, like, she was talking about like zodiac signs, and she was like, I can't stand Tauruses, but I like Sagittarius or something. She said something like that, and I just went in there because honestly, zodiac signs don't really mean anything to me. Like it's a sign. You know what I mean? It's just the
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah.
when you're born, and that's it. You know. So I was like, zodiac signs don't define people. Like everyone has their own personalities, and she was like, "Shut up, zodiac signs do matter." And she said like in a joking way, but I was like, she really strongly believes in this shit. So I was like, let me kind of, make fun of her a little bit, like not like too much, but just a little bit.
This guy over here poking.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, I put in like quotation marks. I was like, if your Jupiter sign is a Scorpio, I can't talk to you. And then that right there pissed her off. So I was like, I was just, I didn't think that was really gonna like
Yeah,
really
you did.
offend her.
Yeah, you did. Because if you didn't think that, you wouldn't have said it. Don't lie.
No, no.
Yeah,
Like
nah, 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 nah. I'm not gonna buy it. There's like that little boy part of that. Not, and I'm not calling you a boy by any means, but because there's a part in us. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna tell you this. I was just trying to make a point, and that was it.
Okay, that's
I
fair.
was just
That's
trying.
fair.
I was just trying to make a point, and she felt offended by that. So what that told me was, when it comes to this generation, when you disagree with somebody, they kind of get like what do you call it? Like get real sensitive about it. You know what I
Bruh,
mean?
let me tell you, that is independent of generation. Hello. I'd be like, hello, look at the world we live in. Our politicians are like 80 years old and they like can't change their minds to save their lives, right? Like they've hated black people their whole lives and they're still holding true that like slavery taught black people how to be better craftsmen. Like, come on, get
Who's
with it. And you tell them that that's not true, and then they're like, oh, well, you're wrong, or that's not what So
because
it's the
who's to say they weren't crafty to fucking begin with? Same thing with us. Same thing with
But
like
that's what I'm
indigenous.
saying.
Same thing with indigenous people. We're super fucking crafty, but they
Right?
wanted to take the crafty land instead.
It's a really propagandist spin on a very traumatic series of centuries, right? Of institutionalized racism and all this other stuff we don't have
Yeah,
to dive into. But all that to say that like doesn't matter how old you are. Like it's people just take it. People can't separate. I shouldn't say can't. I don't like using like really definitive language. Sometimes people have a hard time separating themselves from their beliefs.
yeah.
And I get it. I get it. It can feel like a personal attack, but it doesn't have to be, you know? It just
Yeah, yeah.
means somebody else believes something different.
Like I wasn't attacking her person. I was just making a
You were,
point
yeah.
of zodiac signs, because from my personal experience, it seems like people judge other people off of a zodiac sign, which
Yeah.
is it's not gonna lie, it's ridiculous to me, because
Well, I mean, yeah.
I feel like, okay, so the only reason I feel like it's ridiculous is because it seems like they're not really giving them a full chance of like trying to figure out their personality and everything. They're just kind of like, oh, that's your sign, and nah, fuck that, I don't want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No, 100%.
versus like that could be like your next best friend, and you just fuck that up. You know?
Totally, totally. I think it's part of a larger problem, and that's just we just live in like a hyper judgmental, hyper critical world, right? Like you
Yeah,
get a couple pieces or a couple sniffs of who you think somebody is, and then you are like, oh, they're gonna be like this, and you put
yeah,
them in this box, and then that person may or may not have the opportunity to prove that there's something different. I've had that
yeah,
experience a lot in my life, being a pretty like brown, young, small female, right? Like people assume I'm gonna be a certain way because I show up and present a certain way. So actually, as a result, I would change my appearance so that I wouldn't people wouldn't assume I'd be like treat me a certain kind of way because they assumed I would be a certain kind of way. That's what I went through as a young kid because I was a biracial kid growing up in a white world, and it was a hard world to grow up in.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, whew, yeah, it's tough.
yeah. I agree. I mean, I grew up in a predominantly, you know, like I said, Chicano family with diverse
Right.
people. So I had the, I could say I had the privilege of growing up with you know, around diverse kids and
That's
diverse
awesome.
families and stuff like that. But they weren't the best neighborhoods type of deal. Like
Right, 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 right,
they were still pretty rough neighborhoods. No matter
right.
what skin color you were, what nationality, ethnicity, it don't matter. Like if someone felt like they wanted to beat your ass, like that was gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah,
A little hostility, a little aggression in the streets, but like inside the home, everybody loves each other, kind of thing.
yeah, that type of
Yeah,
deal.
gotcha.
But
Kind of
yeah,
live in a neighborhood like that right now.
yeah, California is really tough when it comes to that shit. You know,
It can be. There's pockets. There's pockets of everything everywhere you go, right?
that is definitely true. But yeah, going back to the zodiac shit, I find it
Oh yeah,
interesting. I find it interesting. I just don't apply it to people, if that makes sense. And
I'm the same.
that's kind of like what I was trying to explain in my own way, which probably wasn't the best way, but in my own way to her. But you know, it is what
Nah,
it
and I was just pulling your chain. I was just trying to give you a hard time. I don't really think you were being a jerk or being like anything like that. I
is. No,
think
I definitely
I
wasn't
think
trying.
I know. I think that's the point I said earlier. Like people just take stuff personally, right? Especially if it's something we really care about. So it was on her. She didn't have to take it
Yeah,
personally. But
yeah. I was just
I did have to razz you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like a big sister razzes a little brother. You know
no, I got you. No,
what I'm saying?
I was just trying to be goofy with it, you know. So I
Yeah,
didn't know,
yeah, yeah.
you know. That's on me. Apology if you know if you
Nah, 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 nah. It's all good. It's all good.
yeah, and I
We're
apologize.
human, right? Like we're human. I think we all, for the most part, have good intentions.
Yeah, yeah. Like I wasn't.
Sometimes we don't make the best moves, but it is what it is. You can own it and apologize and move on. Like no big deal, right?
Yeah, that is definitely true. But I don't know. I just
Like I
think
can't
people.
tell you how much stuff I had to apologize for when I got sober. Like that will humble you. That will humble you real quick, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
So I was gonna get on. So that is really cool that you know I took the sobriety and on it for 6 years. That's a lot of commitment, and that's a really good goal to have. Honestly, you know, a lot of people aren't
Yeah.
willing to take that step and do that. So that is really
Well,
cool.
it's hard. It's hard. You really have to get to the point where you decide you want to do everything different, and then you're just gonna like face life head on. Like I've
Yeah,
lived a certain kind of way, destroying myself for like 31 years. My dad died. My dad was the center of the reason why I was destroying myself my whole life. And when he died, I had this epiphany of like, wow, like I have to change my narrative because the person who was at the center of it no longer exists. So now I have to like move into the center and be my own main character. Like where do I go? Who am I? What do I do? And that triggered my like spiral into my rock bottom. Thank the Lord for that. And then about 2 years later is
yeah,
when I got to a point where I was like, I can't. I know I can't live any other way. I've tried to end my life multiple times over this whole course of my life, and every time I wake up. So maybe I just need to like try to live and see what that's like. The first 3 days of my sobriety were painful because I'd checked myself into a sober living, paid for it out of pocket. Because I had 30 days before I had to go back to my full time job. I had to get my act together real quick, and I'd been on
mhm,
medical leave for about 2 months prior. But The first 3 days were really hard, and I've been in therapy for 8 years, so that's like been intrinsic right in this journey, or integral, I should say, vital to this journey. But the third day was so hard, and I had a therapy session, and I was like, ah, therapist, I hate this. It's like I'm in high school, I'm too old for this. I'm 30, and I have to like do chores. And my therapist said, well, like you can't do what you want to do, what you usually do, so just do something else. And so I usually would spend every moment drinking or running away from a feeling or whatever. So instead, what I did is I just went to an AA meeting. I went to an AA meeting in the morning, I went to an AA meeting in the afternoon, and I went to an AA meeting in the evening. I hated that shit before. I like would hide in the bathroom. I'm not a firm believer in everything that they preach. You know what I mean? There is
Yeah.
something to be said about sharing a space with people who have similar life experiences, though. And openly talk about it, all the shameful, dark, dirty stuff. But
Yeah.
I filled my life with stuff that would help me in the moments when I wanted to hurt myself. Ooh, that's a good one. That should be a video. I'm gonna have to remember
There
that.
you
But
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
when I wanted to hurt myself, instead I found ways to help myself, and I knew that I could never drink again. Like smoking weed maybe one day, and I do now, but I stopped smoking for about 9 months. But I knew I could never drink again, because what that does is it takes up space between me and my feelings, which then makes my life unmanageable. That's because I have this epiphany. My feelings are driving my life, so I have to figure out how to deal with what I'm experiencing emotionally in life. So I'm not fucking wanting to die all the time, and I feel like I'm worthless, and I've got no reason for living, and no one loves me, and I'm unlovable. Blah blah blah. This stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I've been sober ever since. And it's never been an issue of like, oh, it's so hard to drink, not to drink, or like I can't hang around people who don't. Like I don't have that urge or that compulsion, because I made the commitment, and like the internal switch went off like that. I have to deal with my feelings, and anything that prevents me from being able to do that constructively,
Hmm.
we're just not gonna go there, you know.
Yeah.
So but it's hard. You have to. I have somebody in my life who's struggling with this right now. They're drinking, but they want to be sober, but can't get to the point where they make that choice. And they asked me, like, how did you do it? And I said, I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have a choice. Like, you can come from fucking everything can be stacked against you, and you can have nothing, but you still have a choice. If you're breathing and sentient, you have a choice. You have a choice.
Yeah.
It might be really hard to make the choices. That, I'm not trying to underestimate that or devalue that, take away from that. Yes, those choices are incredibly hard to make, but you can make them. And it requires less than making the ones that are keeping you sick, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. It all makes sense. I could tell you, like, my family has like a big, well, like alcohol like runs in the blood type of deal, and unfortunately, a lot of family members that I looked up to, both my grandparents included, couldn't find that will to stop drinking, and so eventually, it led to them having health issues and eventually, you know, dying. So
Hmm.
I just feel like when it comes to that, like, because they've been drinking for so long, I don't know. I guess the more you do
That's how
that,
my dad died. My dad drank himself to death. My brother and I found his dead body. Like, we had to call the fire department. They broke into the house, and he'd been
yeah,
dead for like a week or two. And it was in the middle of a heat wave. The summer, like his body melted into the floor. It was disgusting. He drank himself to death. I spent my whole childhood being like, I will never be that, because he was an abusive tyrant of an alcoholic. But I watched him, and that's how I learned to deal with my feelings. When I got to be in my teens and early 20s, and I didn't have what I really needed to make the choices that I wanted to make, I went to the crutch, which is what I saw. So
hmm
it started out very casual and flirty and fun, like, it quiets the voices. Then it drowned the voices. Then it drowned everything. And I think just the travesty of how my dad died, and it was like a whole fucking shebang of shit leading up to it, right? Like, I had to institute a neighborhood watch because he was like being found in parking lots, passed out, drunk, with his car running at parking lot outside the liquor store. Like, it was a whole fucking drama. Um, So when he went, and the condition of his body, and like it just I saw myself and was like, wow, like if I keep doing this, I'm gonna end up like that. And like I said, it took me 2 years to get there because I wasn't there yet. I
Yeah.
wasn't ready to make that choice because I didn't really feel like I was like my life was worth living. And then at some point, I think I decided, well, like if I keep waking up, this is me every morning. Since I woke up, let me just be a good person, do the work.
Yeah.
Like I'm not dead, so like let me just be good because it's
Yeah.
life is miserable when you aren't contributing to your own positive welfare. Life is miserable, extra miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if you're religious or not, but that right there could have been a wake up call God had for you and said, "Nope, it is not your time, and that's
Oh,
not what you're meant
100%.
to do. So get on your path." You know what I mean? So,
I've
but
I've I'm not incredibly religious, but super spiritual, right? And so I've that was the moment where it's like you've got more work, and I don't like what is it?
yeah,
Sign me up, and here I am.
either way, it's not your time. You know, continue down that path. You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
but
And
I
that's
feel
the thing too. We have control, but we really don't at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
when it's not your time, it's not your time. And when it is, it is.
yeah. But no, 100% feel you on that because I saw my family members in that same condition, and I kind of just looked at that and was like, I can't be like that. You know,
Yeah.
I can't let alcohol get in control of me. And I'm not gonna lie, I have drinks here and there, but I know not to let it get too far with me. Like I'll
And
know
that's
my
all that
limit.
matters.
Yeah, like I'll know my limit. I'll stop and then I'll be chilling the rest of the day, type of
Yeah.
deal.
And
I don't.
that's how you're supposed to use those kinds of substances, right? Like it's just recreational. When it becomes a prescription, if you can't deal with life without it, then that's when you really want to be curious about like, and that's anything, right? Like I also learned when I stopped drinking that like anything can be that. Like everybody has some form of emotional crutch or tool or coping mechanism, and we all
Yeah,
use it to varying degrees. So if we're leveraging it too much, that's when it becomes a problem. But if it's just there and it's like a little helper along the way every so often, like it is what it is.
yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. So we are about 5 minutes to an hour, but
Oh wow!
I do
See,
have.
time flies. Time
It
flies.
does. It does. I love the conversation. This was incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
I will say, I do have a challenge at the end of every podcast episode.
Oh Lord. Okay.
And look, have you ever heard of the emoji challenge?
So what is this? Is it going to involve me moving?
Kind of, somewhat. Like
You
not
know
like out
I'm
of your chair.
old. Old people don't be moving like you
No, no, no,
young
no, no, no.
folks.
No. It's not like
Okay,
out
what
of your
is it?
chair.
Tell me,
Like
what is it? What is it? What is it?
so, basically, I pop up like you see where it says Gonzo's Convos
Yes,
on
yes.
the screen. So I pop up an emoji, and you just gotta imitate it as spot on as you can. And they're all face
Okay.
emojis.
All right, okay.
All right, you ready for the first one?
Oh yeah, don't mind my grandma squint. I know I have glasses on my head, but it's really just a headband.
There you go. All right. That's actually pretty spot on.
You know, I'm trying.
That one's a little too accurate.
I think that's my regular go-to.
There you go. And then I think that's the wink one. Yeah. So a lot of people actually struggle winking. Like previous guests were like going like this. I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, bro, that's a blink. You're supposed to do it with one eye.
But I can't knock them too much. I can only do one eye. I can't do the other.
You know, we all have our gifts.
And then this was probably the easiest one out of it. I don't know.
I live for that one. That's me at work every day. Like, what the fuck is? No, I'm not
why,
here. I'm not here.
why is that you at work?
Because I'm the problem solver. Sometimes I don't want to solve the problem.
That's funny. So what exactly? I don't know if you're like into emojis or anything like that or no, but what exactly does that one mean to
Which
you?
one?
The one that was this one.
Oh, that one to me was like, if I feel embarrassed or I'm like say I shared something that I'm like nervous to share, and I'm like, I sent it to you. What do you think? I don't know, that kind of feeling.
That seems like how most people use it. But like, it's funny because what I thought was like if someone's like scared or something, like watching a horror movie or whatever. That's
I
what I
think it
thought.
could mean that too. I think it could mean that too. I feel like anytime that feeling is conjured up or you do something like that, I think it's applicable, you know?
There you
It's
go.
like, yeah, yeah. It's got a broad application.
Yeah, I feel you. Is that something like people actually do in real life though?
Yes, yes. Actually, my fiance, we love watching scary movies, and I love watching them with her because she's like hella loud and expressive, and sometimes she blames me when things get too scary. But she will do that on occasion, like, and I get mad, and I'll pull her hand down, like, you gotta watch. But she does that. It's a thing.
Like actually hands on the face or just kind of over?
Just like, I mean, sometimes you don't want to touch your face because you don't want to like get the oil and get a little pimple break
That's what I
out.
figured.
You
Yeah,
gotta,
yeah.
gotta take care of the skin. But sometimes if the hands are clean, you can go full contact.
400. So you don't do that at all. You're just glued to the screen, still watching
Oh
them.
hell no! I've been through so much. I just watch. I really don't. I don't think I get too. I get more scared by my fiance's reactions than the movie. Like I'm chilling, smiling, and then she's like, "Bang!" And then that's what makes me jump. So that's why I love it. That's why I have to watch it with her.
It sounds like we're gonna have to get her on a future episode for
Oh,
sure.
I would love that. It would be so fun. That would be awesome. She does the same kind of content, but actually much more height. And like on Twitch, she has a stream, T to the Tam. Check her out. Her tagline is "Love You'll Play." Just like to have a good time, but also talk about the same kind of stuff I talk about in my videos.
Hell yeah, yeah. It would be cool to get her on a future episode for sure.
Hell yeah,
But
hell yeah.
but with that, you don't actually you yourself don't do that in real life at all.
The Twitch stuff or the this
That.
this I don't think so. I can't. I mean, as a child, I'm sure there were plenty of times, but I can't remember the last time in my adult life where I was literally going like this, like out of fear.
Maybe just at work.
Yeah. I just do that inside at work. I can't, you can't do that and still collect a paycheck.
You can't do that and collect a paycheck. Why not?
Nah, it's the corporate world. You know what I mean? And I'm brown and I'm a little tiny brown female, so I got to put on my game face and look strong.
I wonder what the reaction would be if you did do that at work. Like,
I'm sure they would probably bust out laughing. I'm known. I don't fuck around, right? Like I'm good at my job, and I know what I know. I know what I don't know. But I'm also like the one who recognizes everybody's humanity, and I'm always trying to be a jokester. So if I did that, I think it would go over better than I would anticipate. Let's just say
yeah,
that.
there you go. I would say try it, but don't take my word for it.
I
Well,
might, I might take you up on that and let you know how it goes. I'll shoot you a message.
say less. I'm actually curious. I don't want to like get you in trouble or nothing, but I mean,
Nah, fuck it, fuck it. You only live once.
see, that's how I know you're the life of the workplace.
You're too funny.
Yeah, but I appreciate you getting on, and
No,
I look.
thank you so much for the invitation. I really, really appreciate it. It's
Oh
been
yeah,
an honor. And if you ever want to shoot the shit again, talk about life, you're so young. You want to talk about marriage or your engagement, relationship. How do you not
yeah,
fight and kill each other? I'm around. Let's talk.
yeah. I'm gonna hit you up definitely for that. Some
For
advice
sure.
that. And I look forward to also getting your fiance on an episode. Let me know if she's down for
Yes,
that.
please. She is for sure, for sure. So just hit me up. Let me know when.
I got you. So I appreciate you coming on. Shout out your social medias so everybody can tap
Oh,
in.
I'm Chris in the cut on TikTok, and then I'm Crease KREES 1029 on Instagram, and Chris Elliott on Facebook. If you're old like me and on Facebook, and that's a thing.
Hell yeah. Everyone tap in. She has a lot of positive posts, and
Thank you so
it'll
much.
boost your days for sure. I know it boosted mine.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you for coming on.